Well, welcome back to my studio. Today I'm working on a portrait. This is a birthday gift. It's for my collector's husband. This is his mother who passed away a couple of years ago. She's now in heaven, and so this is just a remembrance of Dorothy for Frank, her son. I've washed in the drawing with a mixture of mud plus liquid. My mud is 2 parts of ultramarine blue plus 1 part of alizarin crimson, and I mix that with liquid, and I go ahead. This is not meant to be an exact likeness at this point. It's just to help me establish the planes of the face and get the figure up there. Now I'm going to start doing the background. And the background, I'm using in the background what we call portrait lighting. And the light is coming from the upper right of the painting, so that the background behind the figure on the right side is going to be darker, so that it will accentuate the light on the right side of the face and the hair. Then as the light goes behind the figure and hits the wall back here, it becomes lighter, which again accentuates the darker side of the person. So this is a mixture of phthalo blue plus some of my mud plus a little bit of viridian green plus a tiny bit of cadmium orange and white. And I use this. This is a good, it makes a kind of a green blue that's really a good complement to the skin tones. Now I start getting a little bit lighter down here at the bottom. I work around my drawing. Now I've allowed the drawing to dry overnight. So what that does, it allows me to, I'll show you here, let me, say I go over. So what I can do is I can erase by just taking a clean brush dipped in some thinner, and then I can just lift up that color. Like I got this collar a little bit low on her sweater, so I can just lift up that color using a brush dipped in thinner. So that allows me to erase any lines that come over. But I don't want my sketch covered, because I want to make sure I keep my sketch. That's very important. Like this needs to come up just a little bit higher. So you can see how I can erase that. My original sketch is all dry, so that makes it very easy. But again, I just come back in here. This gets a little bit lighter down here. I'm not going to worry about getting close on the hair right now. Save my background color. And then as we come around, we begin getting lighter over here. So you can see I wipe my brush out. I use lots of this toilet tissue. And that clean brush gives you nice, clean, crisp colors on the canvas. But then I start bringing some lighter shade of that same color here, and this is that same mixture, just has more white in it. And I don't try to make that background smooth, as far as like trying to make all the brush strokes smooth, and I kind of crisscross, give it a little texture, not a lot. You can see how I let these lighter shade feather in to the darker. I got an interesting comment from an artist on one of my YouTube videos, and he said, "I hate how you hold the brush." He didn't really explain, but You know, how we hold the brush is really very individual to each person. It's just like which brushes do we like to use. I prefer these square edge called a bright brush because I can cover large flat areas with the flat side, or I can use the corner and get a little bit finer. I can work smaller areas with the corner of the brush. That noise in the background is my printer is just all of a sudden decided to start cleaning itself. So that's what that noise is. I'll bring my lighter color down here. I'm going to even add a little bit more white into my light shade on this, so I have a little bit lighter. I made, I guess, 4 different shades of that. A dark, then progressively got lighter. And now I'm making one shade even lighter. So I want to clean out my brush, get the darkest paint out of it. So now I'm using my lighter shade. Now this is a little bit too light, but I just can kind of work that into the color behind it, and that'll darken it up. You can see how that color gets a little bit darker as I work it in. Just this crisscross allows me to get those shades, get a nice transition from the lighter to the darker shade. It doesn't have to be exactly smooth, but I do want a fairly smooth transition. But you can see now how this, with the dark on this side, it's really going to light on this side of the face and shoulders really going to show. And then this side is in dark in the shadow, and so that light behind it makes that, then accentuates that. Work around her hand there. A little bit lighter right in here. Again, I'm using the theory on the background, the theory of complementary colors. And what this is by having basically a blue shade in the background, that's the complement of the oranger tones in the face, in the skin tones. And by placing complementary colors next to each other, that'll make the face appear fresher, brighter. And so that blue just is a good choice. It really plays up the skin tones. The skin tones will really look nice and rich with that blue in the background. Now I just come back and make sure there's not any really big brush strokes that have a lot of texture. I don't mind some texture, but I don't want heavy texture in here. And there we go. There's our background. I really appreciate you watching my YouTube videos. Please subscribe to my channel and visit my blog. The link is in the description below. It's also, the address is on the final frame of my video, and I show the complete step-by-step process of this piece as well as others I do. So thank you again. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, and just today when you're out and about, give somebody a big smile. You never know what's going on in their life, and that smile just may brighten their day. So you have a good one. Thank you again.